All right, well, we are good to go. We're set up here. If you haven't noticed already, the difference between this video so far and my last video, I can't help you. All right, welcome back to another video. My name's Frosty, not Frosty. There's two O's clearly, so if you are a literate human being, it's Frosty. Okay, Frosty. So over the short 3 months that I've been a photographer, I think I can call myself a photographer now. I have a portfolio, I have an Instagram full of photos, I've done concerts, I've done gigs, and I've gotten paid. I think I can call myself a photographer now. But for those of you that are just looking to get into photography, I'm gonna list off some things that you should expect from the beginning. And honestly, some of these things are things that I wish I would have known before I started, but I had to learn the hard way. But you know, sometimes experience is the best teacher. So I'm kind of glad I learned these things through experience, but I'm just gonna bring forward all of these things that I've learned so far. Okay, so the first piece of advice I want to give out to rookie photographers looking to get into the craft, get their hands dirty, you know, take some pictures, learn Lightroom. That will be your sun and moon, your baby child. You will use it every single day if you are consistently being proactive and taking photos on a consistent basis. Lightroom's a really good tool for touching up your photos, and you'd be really surprised how much better your photos will look after you touch them up in Lightroom. Sure, you could just take photos on the camera. I'm sure they'll look great, but if you really want to take your photography up to the next level, you want to learn Lightroom. So I pay monthly for the God, I suck at this. So I pay monthly for the Adobe Creative Cloud. I pay 12 bucks a month. I get such a good rate because I'm a student. So my piece of advice for you students out there, get Adobe Lightroom on the Adobe Creative Cloud, pay 12 bucks a month. I can't speak. So go on the Adobe Creative Cloud website, go to purchase the cloud, and there should be somewhere where you can say I'm a student, or maybe there's like an exclusive. I don't remember. I bought it like 6 months ago and I only started using it like 3 months ago. But anyways, definitely learn Lightroom. That's the first thing I recommend doing. The second piece of advice I would give rookie photographers is don't be scared. Be confident in your ability to take your photos and just don't be shy. There are gonna be times when you're out in public and people are gonna look at you because you have a camera, and people are gonna stare, and that's just is what it is. And it's gonna happen anyways, so might as well just accept that people are gonna look at you and just do what you gotta do. And especially on your gigs, I recommend being really assertive. There are a lot of times where I was working a concert and I had the opportunity to get on stage and I didn't because I was just really shy and I didn't want to get in front of the crowd and everything like that. And because of that, I sacrificed a lot of really good shots. So my advice to you is be confident, go up on stage, go into the crowd, talk to people, take pictures, make connections. You have to talk to people and you have to take pictures. You just can't afford to be shy, especially if you want to grow your reputation as a photographer. I'm actually an introvert, so going out and doing my concert gigs was really coming out of my shell. But I found that it was super necessary to network and talk to people, especially if I wanted to get more gigs or sell my photos to those artists. So you just have to be approachable and you have to approach people. This may be an unpopular opinion, but I do want to stress that sometimes it's necessary to work for free, especially when who you're working for has a larger following and they're going to post your photo and tag you and stuff like that. If that is worth enough to you, then it's worth enough to work for free. Look at it like this. If you're willing to work for free, you're more than likely going to get more gigs. More gigs equals more connections. More connections equals more people talking to people and recommending you as a photographer. Yes, money is important, but a lot of people fail to recognize that giving up the short-term gratification of earning that money now at sacrifice of losing a connection is not worth as much as building your portfolio, getting experience, getting opportunities, and getting more connections in the industry that you're trying to get into. Did that make sense, what I just said? You know what I mean. Work for free, build your connections, and ultimately it'll lead to more clients. If you don't agree, that's fine. That's just my opinion. You do you. If you are getting paid for a gig, make sure you either get paid up front or you have something in writing saying that you will get paid afterwards, because people will try to take advantage of you. Speaking from experience, I need to stop looking at my viewfinder when I'm talking to the camera. I need to look here. I need to look at your face. I need to look at your face. Okay, Cinco de Mayo. Tip number 5 that I would give you rookie photographers is go out and shoot. Not guns, your camera. Go out and shoot your shoot guns if you want. Just make sure no one's around. That's, you know what? We're not gonna, okay. Go out and take photos. That's better, right? Take photos. Go out and take photos. It doesn't matter where or what. Just go out and take pictures. Play with your camera. Get familiar with your camera, because that is going to be your child. So you really want to understand how your camera works, how to take photos, framing, and just kind of get in the rhythm of taking photos, because that's what you're doing. You're a photographer. So it doesn't matter if the photos are good. I mean, try to make them good, but it doesn't matter if they're good. It doesn't matter if they're bad. Just go out and take photos and practice. Practice, practice, practice. I promise you that by doing, it will pay off. And kind of segueing into my 7th piece of advice is don't trust your viewfinder all the time. And there are histograms and other information on your viewfinder that you can see after you take your photos, but don't always trust how your photo looks on your LCD screen compared to how it actually looks when you drag it into Lightroom. There's a lot of times where I've taken photos and I go, oh man, that's beautiful. And I bring it in, drag it into Lightroom, and it's garbage. Like it's a piece of burnt toast, like that was smashed by a crane. I just made that up. I don't know what I'm saying. You get my point. It's just not always reliable to check your viewfinder. So mini tip, take as many photos as possible. You can never have too many photos, because it's likely that that one photo that you thought was just amazing didn't turn out that way, unless you're more skilled as a photographer. Okay, don't get me wrong, but the kit lens that comes on your camera is a good lens. You can take good photos at just about any occasion with the kit lens, but it's not a great lens. Most of the time, the kit lens does not have a lot of really good low light capability. The glass isn't as good as more expensive lenses. So I would recommend, as your very first investment, other than your camera, obviously, as a photographer, is buy a better lens. So the second lens I bought was the Canon 24mm, can you focus? Prime lens, there we go. Canon 24mm prime lens. And the reason I bought this lens is because 1, it was super affordable. It's like 125 bucks on Amazon. And 2, it has a much better low light capability than my kit lens, because the f-stop on this is 2.8. Yeah, 2.8. And the f-stop on my kit lens is 4. If you don't know already, that pretty much means the aperture can open much wider, letting in more light. And that's really convenient for me because I'm doing concert photography, and normally the lighting is not ideal, and my kit lens just really wasn't doing the job. I did use my kit lens for my first gig, so you can get away with low light with a kit lens, but you have to bump your ISO up really high, and that just really diminishes the quality of your photos because they get really grainy, and it's just not good. So whatever type of photography you're doing, do some research, figure out what type of lens you want to get. And there's pretty much always an affordable option of the type of lens that you want to get. You don't have to go with the high-end one right away, but I do think almost anything is better than the kit lens. Now I'm sporting the Sigma 35mm art lens, and this thing is, it's my baby. I'm so bad at this. I haven't done this in forever, dude. And my next point is something that I think gets overlooked quite a bit, especially when you go on YouTube and you look up like beginner photography guide or beginner photography tips and tricks. And a lot of the times they fail to mention that you need to take advantage of the flash on your camera. There's a lot of situations where you can't control the lighting in your immediate environment. We don't always have the luxury of having our soft boxes and just our lights and all these things to create this artificial light to help whatever your subject is look better. Just don't use flashes at like concerts, like in people's eyes, and like sporting events where people are like doing things. Don't use flash. You will get yelled at. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I just kind of wanted to talk about some of the things that I would have liked to know going into photography, or knowing what to expect going into photography. I feel like there's a lot of disconnect on YouTube between rookie photographers such as myself, or maybe some of you watching, and the more experienced people who are making the videos and teaching these things. A lot of the information is valuable that people are teaching, but I also feel like there's a lot of things that they gloss over because it's just kind of common sense to them because they've been doing it so long. But yeah, I'm gonna head out of here. I can actually properly do that like hand thing now. You guys wanna try here? I gotta take out the glasses for this. Here you go. All right. Whew. Was that Starmy? Focus, 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 focus on Starmy, focus.